Hi, I'm Jay Renzo, and today I'm going to talk about Sonic the Hedgehog hot takes. I know, surprise surprise, more Sonic stuff, but save your tomato-throwing arms for the good part. For anyone who doesn't know, a hot take is an opinion about some piece of media that the general fanbase disagrees with. For example, someone could say Sonic Frontiers, a very well-received and beloved new game, is overrated. That's a hot take. But someone else could say Sonic Generations is one of the best games in the series, and everyone already knows that. Either you love Generations, you haven't played Generations, or you're just a weirdo. Oh, and one last thing. In order to get enough comments to turn this into a full-length video, I kinda had to plug my YouTube channel in a Sonic Forces Discord server. That means a lot of these takes are gonna be Forces related. I understand if you'd rather hear me talk about good video games, in which case you can watch this video about Chirpy the Penguin. But anyway, enough waiting around. It's time to get into the spice. Our first comment is from Hagen2957. If Infinite's character were changed to focus more on getting revenge on Shadow because of what happened to his squad as opposed to his personal hang-ups about being weak, it would not make him a more compelling villain, and would ironically just make him SA2 Shadow, but worse. Shadow 05 is a fun game, and calling it too repetitive to get to the true end is kind of a skill issue when there are 300 plus possible paths you could take. You just have to get over that for any mission that isn't reaching the goal, you're getting a low score on the first try. Now, I can't really comment on this second take, having never played Shadow the Hedgehog, but as for the first one, I kind of agree. I do think an Infinite revenge plot would work very well for, say, a new game starring Shadow himself. But yes, having Infinite be hellbent on beating Shadow specifically would detract from the already messy plot of Forces. I think the idea of the Infinite vs. Shadow matchup being the inciting incident behind Infinite's widespread villainy definitely helps with Forces' story. But if, light Gaia forbid, Infinite were to come back, I think it should be in some kind of spin-off starring Shadow. Next, from Violet the Book Cat 7457, a comment about the Sonic movies. Didn't expect to see anything about those in the comments, but here's their take. I genuinely liked the wedding scenes in Sonic Movie 2. On rewatches I did wish they were a bit shorter, but I liked it regardless. Honestly, I fully agree with this one. I think the general consensus is that the second movie is the superior one of the two currently out, though I don't know what people think of the humans. Personally, I like them as well. They're funny, and the way they actually get involved with the plot towards the end is cool. I'm honestly eager to see them again in the third movie, even if I'm obviously a lot more hyped for Shadow's appearance. Unfortunately, getting back to discussing Sonic Forces, we have not one, not two, but 3 people defending this crapfest. Well, I guess I can excuse my friend Random here, since he didn't say it was good. And I guess even this Hypix person's, because they said, and I quote, "I like Sonic Forces, not Sonic Forces is a good game." But then along comes Infinite Edgy, making the bold claim that not only is Sonic Forces the best in the series, but that its lame excuse for a villain is the strongest foe Sonic and friends have faced. This is going to be a fun one to dissect. First of all, Sonic Forces isn't the best game. Second, there's a wide array of characters that could defeat Infinite in any scenario. Skip to the timestamp on screen if you want to avoid the power scaling, since I understand that it can be really annoying to listen to. But anyway, let me just unload a list of characters who could solo Infinite, with some reasoning for some of the more controversial ones. Super Sonic, even Base Sonic when he plays his cards right, Shadow, Knuckles, Iblis or either of its two halves, Omega, Dark Gaia, Time Eater, Burning Blaze, Dr. Eggman, assuming he has one of his stronger mechs, the Hard-Boiled Heavies, if Infinite can use the Phantom Ruby so can they, Metal Sonic, debatably in his base form but absolutely as Neo Metal or Metal Overlord, and possibly even Silver. Yes, Infinite has beaten Silver before, but he's also defeated the Avatar and Sonic before. Look how that turned out. Taking a well-deserved break from Forces, we have another boost game with a 2-word title in which the second word begins with an F. See, my good friend Pav said this. 1. Sonic Frontiers was very overhyped and overrated before the DLC. Moving as Sonic was fun for like the first 20 minutes. The physics mod someone made saves the game so much for me, made it playable for me. All the items have the same darn loop except for Island 4, which on its own sucked due to the towers you had to climb. The story was okay though, and some bosses were good, but it's very mixed for me. There are more flashy animations than actually challenges. The endgame is bad, and the replayability is just not there after the main game. 2. The boost mechanic ruined 3D games for me, especially stages designed for the boost. Now, I once again can't comment on the second take because the only 3D Sonic games I've played are Boost games, but I can definitely attest to his first take. While I haven't actually finished Frontiers, I've played enough to know that I'm just not a huge fan. If you enjoy it, more power to you. But every time I boot up this game, it's not, oh man, I can't wait to enjoy Sonic Frontiers again. It's, maybe this time I'll see the hype. I never do. Nearing the end of this part of the video is a take that almost didn't make it in. The script had been pretty much finished by the time this comment was made, but I found it so interesting that I just had to include it. The Most British Brit says, Sonic Adventure 3 doesn't need to happen. Honestly, I wholeheartedly agree with this comment for several reasons. First of all, the last Sonic Adventure game was Sonic Adventure 2 in 2001. That was over 20 years ago. Why would we just now get a direct follow-up to this game? Especially considering the gap between Adventure and Adventure 2 was less than 2 years. Second, we kind of already got Adventure 3? Not an official game titled Sonic Adventure 3, but we've had several games comparable in their structure to the Sonic Adventure games, like Heroes in 06. Sure, those games weren't as acclaimed as the Sonic Adventure games, but you can't always expect a sequel to be as good as the game that preceded it. Now, to end off this chunk of the video, we have by far the most controversial take in this comment section, nay, in Sonic history. Haley, I think, says, oh no, I can't say this, Haley, can you just say it for me?
Eggman is a Robotnik.
Wow, that's just... I can't believe I heard that out loud. I'm sorry, I need to take some time to process this. Editor, quick, roll the clip of my hot takes. Okay, first of all, I don't like Sonic CD. Now, spare your tomatoes, please. I don't think Sonic CD is a bad game. I think it's a perfectly fine and very enjoyable game for people who aren't me. Sonic CD is, as we all know, that one silly Sonic game where you go to the past to save the future from Dr. Eggman. Cool concept, but in order to do all that, you need to slow down and explore the levels, finding the past signs and the robot teleporters and the Metal Sonic holograms. Not to mention, hitting a past sign doesn't instantly take you to the past. You need to somehow build up and maintain your max speed for a while, and if you reach the max speed but it gets interrupted, oh well, find another past sign. It's just a system I'm not a fan of. When I play Sonic, it's because I want to go fast. I want the thrill of racing with Shadow, or the excitement of escaping the IRS on a snowboard. I don't want to memorize level designs and locate collectibles on huge maps that have 4 variants each. If that's your idea of a fun game, cool, you do you. But I'd rather play Sonic Mania. And, on the subject of Sonic Mania, I like it more than Sonic 2. And that alone may not be a super wild statement, but I also like both of these games more than Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Let me explain. Sonic Mania is, in my opinion, a near-perfect video game. Easy to pick up, but if you really want to challenge yourself, it stays fun while delivering on that challenge. So much variety and replayability, having a ton of levels, each with 2 variants due to the Mania and Encore modes, plus 5 playable characters, not counting the combinations you can make by adding Tails or Knuckles, or even playing in Encore mode, and a ton more side content. I genuinely don't understand how someone could dislike Sonic Mania. And as for Sonic 2, well, it was one of the first video games I've ever played. I'm biased, and I admit it. Sonic 3 may be awesome, but not only does it not stand a chance against my nostalgia for Sonic 2, it has mandatory blue sphere stages for the good ending. Ew. My next take is about Sonic Forces. I promise this is going to be the last time I talk about that dumpster fire in this video. But anyway, we all know Silver is in Sonic Forces. To call his role in that game insignificant is an understatement. But honestly, making Silver do any more in this game just doesn't make sense to me. In fact, as much as I adore this guy, I don't think Silver the Hedgehog should have been in Sonic Forces at all. First of all, his inclusion makes the absence of characters like Cream and Blaze stick out even more. But my main reasoning is exactly what he does in Forces. He's pretty much there to get beaten up by Infinite and then have no further plot relevance. Why? Why have Silver here? We've seen in games like Sonic 06 that Silver is one of the most powerful characters out there. Having this guy exist just to demonstrate how strong Infinite is just doesn't make sense. Couldn't it have been some generic Avatar-like character? Or if it really needs to be someone we know personally, Vector or something? maybe even Team Chaotix as a whole. It just doesn't make sense that Silver the Hedgehog lost here. In fact, this guy's from the distant future. Why'd he even bother going back in time for this anyway? Actually, scratch that. If I tried to comprehend the logic of time travel in alternate dimensions and Sonic Forces, the game that retconned classic Sonic, I'd be here for hours. The last thing I want to talk about is Sonic's iconic theme song. Now, when I say Sonic's iconic theme song, your brain could go anywhere. Like, seriously, anywhere. So many songs have been officially and unofficially labeled as Sonic's theme. The three I want to talk about today, though, are His World, It Doesn't Matter, and It Doesn't Matter. The other one. See, Sonic Adventure introduced the song It Doesn't Matter, Sonic Adventure 2 remixed it, and then Sonic 06 did away with both in favor of a new song called His World. Now, plenty of people love It Doesn't Matter. I can't seem to find which version the general public prefers, but I'm definitely more of a fan of the Adventure 2 version. But one thing that may surprise you, I like His World more than either of these two. While I definitely like the lyrics of It Doesn't Matter more, and I think that song also fits Sonic's character to a T, His World is just more enjoyable for me. Also, I was debating if Night of the Wind counts as Sonic's theme song as well, but I really don't want to try to choose between that and His World, so we're gonna politely shove that to the side for now. Anyway, that's all for this video. Be sure to hit the like button if you want to see more content like it, and comment below if you actually agree with Haley's insane take. And most importantly, have a great day. This is JRenzo10, signing off.